Today was quite a busy day for Apple fans. Today we're gonna recap it in under 5 minutes. So we're gonna cover the 3 major things that Apple released today. The iPad Pro, the Apple TV, and the iPhone 6s. So the first thing that we're gonna talk about today is, of course, the first thing that Apple announced, which is the iPad Pro. So basically, imagine an iPad Air 2 that's been blown up to be the size of a small Retina MacBook Pro. That's pretty much what you get without the keyboard. It's a 13-inch iPad. Now, the iPad Pro comes with a full on-screen keyboard that even features a row of numbers and characters for the first time ever on an iPad, which is cool. But if you are feeling like copying a Surface Pro here, you can buy, for an obscene amount of money, an iPad Smart keyboard cover that allows you to type many things. Now, the keyboard does not connect through Bluetooth, which would kill everyone's battery. What it does instead is connect through the same way that the Surface Pro keyboard connects, which is through a little magnetic thingy thing on the bottom of the side of the iPad. As Apple will of course tell you, there are loads of improvements on the interior, so we don't need to go through them individually. Let's just have some numbers over here. Since iPad Pro runs on a desktop-grade CPU, you can of course run some desktop-grade applications, like Autodesk, for example, which, according to Phil Schiller, runs at 60 frames per second. Also has some of the best speakers that you're gonna find on an iPad. It has 4 speakers that automatically balance and adjust for the tilt of the iPad and for what you're watching. Apple Pencil. Apple has designed a stylus. Let's be real, it's a stylus, but they call it a pencil because what you do is draw with it. Basically, Apple Pencil is a pencil that you can use for your iPad Pro. Now, it has basically little force touch sensory things going on inside of the pencil, which can detect the tilt of the pencil and the force of the pencil to change the thickness of your brush and whatnot. Apple Pencil runs on batteries, which means, yes, you do have to charge up your pencil. Alright, so now let's move on to the next announcement, the Apple TV. So for the last 3 years, Apple really hasn't done anything with the Apple TV. That is until now. The old Apple TV remote was a very simple thing. It had a play pause button, a menu button, and then a click wheel. The new Apple TV remote is a lot more good. It has a little trackpad at the top, which is in lieu of a scrolling wheel. It also allows you to do gestures like swiping up from the bottom and down from the top and swiping all over the place. One of the best features of the new Apple TV is, of course, Siri, who can do pretty much anything now. You can ask her to find you some TV shows or movies, or tell you the weather, or tell you who is in the TV show that you're currently watching. You can look for genres, you can look for actors, you can look for guest appearances. You can find almost anything on Apple TV with Siri. And of course, with Metal, we also get games. We do get an app store on the Apple TV, which is fantastic because that means you can actually have native applications. Apple TV starts at $150, which is $50 more than the old one. And if you want 64 gigabytes, you're gonna have to bump your price to $200. Now it's time to talk about the final thing that was announced, the iPhone 6s. Now their slogan for this is, the only thing that has changed is everything. But that's not entirely true, because if you look at it, it's almost indistinguishable from the current iPhone 6. In fact, the only thing that's different is that on the back of the 6s is a little badge that says S. The highlight of the iPhone 6s is of course 3D Touch, which is apparently the same as Force Touch, but it's not called that, so that's interesting. Basically, if you force or 3D touch on an application, you can get a little preview. So if you do it on the camera icon, you can have a quick selection to take a selfie or a slow motion video. In a message, you can preview a link right there. You can also do this for your emails, for any websites. There's also something called Live Photos, which is basically your photos kind of act as a little mini GIF, so they can play a couple of frames for you if you want. The only other thing of any interest that's relating to the iPhone, not just the 6S but every iPhone from now to the foreseeable future, is this new iPhone upgrade program. So instead of getting locked into a 2-year contract like it has been since the dawn of time, now, for just $32 a month, you can get a new iPhone every single year, choose your carrier, and you can get AppleCare Plus. I haven't actually run the math to see if it'll save you any money, but certainly it's something to think about because you're not going to be locked into your contract and you don't have to pay any extra next year when the new phone comes out with a lot of more numbers to tell you that you should buy it. Thank you guys for checking out this, which is actually the first video of a normal kind since I have returned. Hopefully I'll be able to be a little bit more regular with my video schedule, trying to release on Fridays. So I will see you guys next Friday.